It's Friday. That means it's time for the Facebook Friday Q&A. Thanks to all you guys that went to the OTR Essential Facebook page and posted your questions. Let's see how many of these little jokers I can get through. Stuart Mileham. Do you have any thoughts on MTV's Wrestling Society X? No. In order for me to have any thoughts about it, I would have to know anything about it whatsoever. I would maybe actually ever have to tune into MTV and things that I do not do and do not care to do. So I have no thoughts one way or another whatsoever. Hader Javed. Did WWE suck the momentum out of Cesaro? Well, they most certainly deflated him. So I guess, yes, you could definitely say they sucked the momentum out of him. Let's take the guy that we're positioning for a nice babyface push and instantly attach him with the guy who was associated with the guy that ended the streak at WrestleMania 30. So that way, for some dumb dick reason, we turn Cesaro heel, and that way he's just another guy vacillating and blowing in the breeze. Sounds like genius to me. Bibin Rajesh. Is WWE bringing down potential WWE main eventers like Sin Cara, etc., into jobbers? Sin Cara Mystico is going to be one of those great flops in WWE history. I mean, obviously, they're bringing down potential main eventers. They do it all the time, and they've been doing it for years. Now, certain guys that we maybe think could go to a certain level, they just don't, maybe because they're just not that good. Maybe they just don't get it. Maybe there's more to the story. But yeah, I mean, there's no question they bring down certain guys. I don't know if I throw Sin Cara into that mix. Mystico kind of made himself a jobber. So that one's kind of on him. Let's see here. Salman Khalid. What would your reaction be if Jeff Jarrett returned at the Rumble, won it, beat Lesnar for the title, and went on to successfully defend it at WrestleMania 31 in a fatal four-way 60-minute Iron Man match with Triple H, John Cena, and Randy Orton? I would tell you to die repeatedly, incessantly, never-ending. Not funny! Also, fuck, marry, kill Layla, Awesome Kong, and Stacy Keibler. I would fuck Awesome Kong, marry Layla, and kill Stacy Keibler. Let it begin! Flipping keyboard fingers of fire. How in the fuck is one thing for you to sit there and say Layla over Stacy Keibler? You nasty, nasty, stupid man. How dare you say you would rather have Awesome Kong over Stacy Keibler? Look at those long legs and that skeletal structure. All those bones you can see. Oh, that just gets me so hard. How can you not agree, Schlick Daddy? Well, fuck off. I'm women to have at least a little bit of meat on their bones. You guys know me by now. Stacy Keibler's just not my flavor. Sorry, that's how it goes. Samuel Shepard. I'm sure this will be a rousing question. If Jay Cutler won the Super Bowl for the Bears, would you change your name to the Jarrett Daddy for 1 year? No, because that in no way equates. That's stupid. Also, would you dye your hair blonde and do a strut in all your videos whilst holding a guitar up? Only if that meant that I could smack you over the head repeatedly for even asking a question referencing Jay Cutler in any way, shape, or form, leading the Chicago Bears to a Super Bowl victory. No, I wouldn't do that. It's dumb. Let's see here. Paul Timus. In a loser goes home match between CM Punk and Brock Lesnar, who would try to lose more? Ooh. The fans? No. Probably Punk. Probably Punk. Because he'd have to work more dates to make less money than Brock Lesnar. So Brock Lesnar would have at least a little more incentive to stay. Punk's got no incentive to stay. He'd try and lose more. He'd probably try to imply the go to sleep to himself. Wilson World. Excuse me. Schleg Daddy, which old wrestling rumor is more likely true to or closest to the truth? He's got 3 of them here. Number 1, Stephanie and Macho Man. Number 2, Billy Jack's Benoit conspiracy. Or number 3, Shawn Michaels and Vince. And why do you think it's true? In order, I would go Michaels, Vince 1, Stephanie Macho Man number 2, and then Billy Jack Benoit conspiracy 3. You know, I'm one that likes to believe there's more to the story on things, but Billy Jack is just fucking out there. As far as Stephanie and Macho Man, I've always felt that there was a lot more to the story about why Macho Man was allowed to leave like he did. He was never brought back. There were years where he wasn't even mentioned. Even though other guys that had done things just as bad, they were mentioned, they were brought back into the fold, what have you. There always had to be something more to the story. So I still think that that's a pretty believable scenario. As far as Michaels Vince, they were paying Michaels 4+ years. What was it, like 14,000 a week, and he wasn't even there? It's got to tell you something. Just saying. There have definitely been those moments, those tendencies where you wonder if Vince definitely swings to the other side of the fence, both in terms of the associations he's had over the years with Garvin, Patterson, some of the things he's done, some of his mannerisms. So that would be the one I would think would be most likely to be true. Richie James, would you ever consider doing a review series of episodes of Raw from the past? Probably not, because if I went back and watched Raws from the past, it'd probably depress me when I think about today's product. So no, for my own sake, I would not do that. Let's see here. Greatest wrestling memes. Your favorite Hell in a Cell match. And do you think the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view and not having Juice has ruined the profile of the Hell in a Cell matches? I will go to that second one first. Yes. I'm not a big proponent of having to bleed or juice all the time. I don't even think it needs to be done that often. But matches like, steel cage matches, Hell in a Cell matches, part of the story is getting your opponent to the point where they bleed. I mean, it just isn't believable. It's just nonsensical that they would have these type of matches and they don't bleed at all. It just makes it look even more fake. Favorite Hell in a Cell match, I would either go Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker in the original at Bad Blood 97 or Taker, Mankind at King of the Ring 98. Ellis Watson, do you think dirt sheets ruin wrestling for everyone? In a way, perhaps. I mean, they've definitely, contributed. But the companies themselves and the industry itself has done more to ruin wrestling than the dirt sheets and the internet have done to ruin wrestling. It's one of these things, you can only blame your fans, your consumers, your paying customers so much before you sit there and you say, hey, maybe they're not the problem, maybe we're the problem. And that's my problem with the wrestling industry, the industry that, by the way, feeds the information to all of those dirt sheets, or at least a couple of dirt sheets that actually have insiders and everybody else that rips off from them. I mean, that's pretty much the way it is. You've either got Wrestling Observer newsletter, Figure 4. You've got, what else? You've got PW Torch. And then occasionally maybe WrestleZone. But most of the rest of the dirt sheets are all just chop shop knockoff jobs of those sites. I mean, more power to those other dirt sheets for basically not contributing anything really valid and taking other people's information, citing it, and making money off of it. Who's the genius here? Brandon Acevedo. How many times has Michael Cole taken it up the ass by Cena? I mean, Jesus Christ, he's always blowing Cena during Raw. Is he the worst lead commentator ever? No, I don't think he's the worst lead commentator ever. May I introduce to you Mike Tenay? Just saying. Here's my thing. Cole doesn't even blow Cena the hardest on commentary. That's Lawler. So I'm not really sure what you're basing this question off of. You must just not be a coal miner. You must just not like Michael Cole. Rodney Tussinger. If you had to choose at this year's Royal Rumble, who do you think will be the final two? It'd be kind of cool if the final three was the Shield. Maybe you could also do Roman Reigns, Batista, if you so desired. Maybe a couple of options. Let's see here. What else? Conspiracy theorists. Besides Hogan body slamming Andre at WrestleMania 3, what's your favorite all-time Hogan moment in wrestling history? In other words, your second favorite Hulk Hogan moment. And what do you think got over more? Luger's face push in 93 or Lesnar's first big WWE push in 2002? That second portion I'll answer first. Lesnar's first big push in 2002. As far as my second favorite Hogan moment of all time, second favorite. There's a few. Obviously, joining the NWO at Bash at the Beach 96 goes up there. When he kicked out and hulked up on The Rock at WrestleMania 18, that's got to go up there. Winning the title from the Iron Sheik at Madison Square Garden in January of 84, that's got to go right up there. There's too many to narrow down. Just saying. Alex Inyhosa. Who wins in a WrestleMania main event match between Cena and Hogan, or does the match never end when both refuse to put the other over? It would be one of those matches that even if Hulk Hogan agreed to do business and do the job, he would still end up being the one go over. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys or not. Even in defeat, he would be the one that was victorious. Hogan rules, brother. Just the mere fact that he would get a WrestleMania main event type of match out of John Cena indicates that Hogan is the big winner in all of this. Hogan rules, brother. Bryant Straight Edge Cahill. Fuck, Mary Kill. Kelly, AJ, Lee, and Cameron. I would, ooh, that's not so easy. I'd fuck Kelly in the mouth hole, because we know she has a lot of expertise there. I would not ask her to assume Kelly position, though. I'd have to marry Cameron and kill AJ Lee. I just have no interest in AJ Lee. And like I said, there's only one hole that I'm going in Kelly, and that is it. Cameron gets the marriage honors from me. Jeremy Adams, how come superstars don't get endorsements like Nike, Gatorade, Reebok, like every other sport? Great question. Maybe it's because the companies don't view these guys as the type of spokespeople that they want. They don't want to be attached to that form of entertainment, if you will. Things like sports drinks like Gatorade, are you really going to associate that with professional wrestling? I think you could. I think that's been a huge miss by the wrestling industry over the years, no question. Thomas Adams, fuck, marry, kill. Linda McMahon, Sarah Palin, China. Incredibly easy. Fuck Sarah Palin, Ragnar Poophole, marry Linda McMahon, and kill China. Somebody's got to do it. I do it for my country. Right in Sarah Palin's pooper. You know what? She'd get it in all three holes. Pink, stink, and then drink. That's the order. And you also asked Thomas Adams, if you were to go back in time and see yourself in the past, what advice would you give to yourself? So many different things. Going back to high school, I think instead of trying to stand out more on my own the last couple of years, I wish I would have been more disciplined and more focused on doing my thing in terms of school-wise, so that way I could have maybe gotten a full ride to a real school instead of having to go down the path that I did, which means I'm still waiting at age 33 to go back and finish school. That would be one thing. Pulling out and making sure I didn't make a kid, that would be another one. Sounds harsh, but that's the reality. What advice would I give to myself? Stop worrying about acceptance of others. Stop focusing on others and do you. Something you always hear like women say in the 17 to 22 age category, and they've got it right at that time. Do you. Don't worry about others. Be selfish. Take care of yourself first and foremost. Don't let friends or family dictate things to you. Don't let friends or family negatively influence you. Don't allow friends or family to give you horrible advice, because friends and family will fuck you over more than anybody else. You cannot live to please your family or friends. You can only live to please yourself and do what is best for yourself. And if you think any other thing is the way to go, you are mistaken. I'm sorry, that's just the way I look at it. Benedict Infinity Ward. Why does Summer love Roman Reigns so much? She just always has. I don't know why. First time we were watching, and there's Roman, and there she is. She just watching, and she just can't stop. She can't get enough of her Samoan stud muffin. It's his hair, his muscles, skin complexion. I don't know. Something like that. Axel Lee, did you ever watch Celebrity Deathmatch? And do you think that show could work in the present? Yeah, I used to watch Celebrity Deathmatch, and could it work in the present? I don't see why not. Chris Johnson, if you started a wrestling company today, who are 3 people you would want? 3 people I would want. Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt. Who would be the third? Cody Rhodes. Yeah. Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Cody Rhodes. All three guys that are well-rounded performers. They can get it done in the ring. They have the ability to connect with the audience. They have the ability to talk. They're all under the age of 30, so I'm looking to build a company not only to be successful now, but more importantly, to have a foundation for long-term success. I'm looking at Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Cody Rhodes. Those are the three guys that I'm starting my wrestling company around, and that's the truth. Alan Pessin, if Daniel Bryan came back, do you think a feud with John Cena would work, and would it be more interesting and a bigger draw? I think you could feud him with Cena. I think you would have to incorporate the Bellas in order to do so, which for some reason they don't want to acknowledge it on Raw that Cena and Nikki Bella are together, even though they have no problem doing it on Total Divas. And that just astounds me. And when Bryan and Cena had their short program heading into SummerSlam 2013, they really made no allusion or mention of it. And I don't get that either. Why would you not? Anything you could add into the mix to increase the intrigue and interest in a story, you would think you would want to do. So that's why WWE doesn't do it. Apparently, they don't want John Cena to have relations. I don't know. Michael Vicken, your thoughts on Brock Osweiler? I don't know if I can have much in the way of thoughts on him at this point, honestly. I mean, he's big. He's got an arm. Does that mean he's necessarily an NFL starting quarterback? No. Does that mean he's not? No. Jury's out. Probably won't find out for another year or two, if we do at all. So we'll see. I'm not sure if I would pin my hopes on Brock Osweiler for the long term, though. Joshua Howell, do you think Kevin Dunn snorts crack off of Vince Russo's dick? Off of Vince Russo's dick? You mean Vince McMahon's dick? Let me edit this question to make sure we got it right. So that way it makes sense. Do you think that Kevin Dunn snorts carrots off of Vince McMahon's butt crack? Yes. These are good, fans. These fudge dip carrots are awesome. Nick Anderson, do you agree with me that John Elway was overrated? Ooh. Man, you talk about a guy that took his team to 5 Super Bowls, won 2 of them. Yes, you could say, well, that was because of Terrell Davidson, etc. Yeah, he had a much better team around him those last 2 years of his career when he won those back-to-back Super Bowls. John Elway is definitely not the greatest statistical quarterback of all time. In some ways, is he perhaps a little overrated? Yes. Because when he was coming out of Stanford and heading into that 83 draft, people viewed him as the greatest quarterback prospect of all time. And many people still view him as the greatest quarterback prospect of all time coming out of college. And he'll never be thought of as the greatest quarterback of all time. So perhaps a little overrated. Juan Pereira, should Space Jam be mandatory history viewing for all school children? Yes! We could talk about theories of evolution and theories of creationism. I want to talk about the facts of Michael Jordan saving the universe from basketball-playing aliens called monsterism. It happened. It was true. Evolution, creationism. Who gives a shit? Let's teach how the universe was saved and why it's still around. His name is Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Bitches. And then you also want to know my thoughts on the rumors about a Rock versus God match at WrestleMania. I'll be doing a video about that this weekend, so stay tuned. Morgan Thomas, I heard Bray Wyatt is supposed to be feuding with Dolph Ziggler. Personally, I think he should turn face and feud with Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. What do you think WWE should do with Bray Wyatt? Put him in matches that he wins. Stop making him look like a cowardly chicken shit. Just crazy idea, but actually go out of your way to try and make him a star and make him a big focus and make him a big deal. Make sure that whoever he wrestles at WrestleMania, he goes over. Not utilize him to try and push off Harper and Rowan on their own at this point in time. There are many things I would do. Many things I would do. Adam Bell. Oh, excuse me. Adam Bauer, WrestleMania 13, if Sid had attempted to try old school on Taker, what would have been the more likely outcome? Sid breaking both of his ankles or Sid shitting himself even more than he already had? Yes to both. Stephen Pennifield, do you consider Mankind's first WWF Championship win one of the greatest moments in Raw history? Yeah, it was a consequential moment. I mean, I said, oh, unlike us, they're taped, we're live. We can tell you later tonight Mick Foley's going to win the world title. 600, 700,000 people go, oh, is that so? Click. Oopsie daisies, Bischoff. Oopsie daisies, WCW. It was a great moment. There's no question about that. Luke Winstaley. You put rape, marry, kill. Nah, we don't fuck around with that. No. I'm not even going to answer that question now. That's gross. The Rusty Gillespie. Will The Rock while The Rock made his return last Monday, do you think there is one more match he is wanting to have? And if so, would it be Sting or Brock Lesnar? I don't think Sting is even in the consideration. I think the match he wants to have is against Brock Lesnar. I think the match he's going to get is something entirely different. Kyle Velasquez. Might be a stupid idea, but I'll ask anyways. How crazy would it be if WWE had a SummerSlam event in Hawaii? Oh, I don't know. I mean, beautiful tropical venue, outside in the summer, here in fucking Hawaii. Sounds fine to me. Sounds fine to me. Don't see why you couldn't. Brian Walmer, do you think bringing back the 40-man Rumble is a good idea? I did a video about this earlier this week. No, I don't. I think this whole notion of, oh, it gets NXT guys involved, that's stupid. Let's put more jobbers in there that ain't going to fucking win the damn thing. You know, oh, this means more of this and more of that. Oh, like they've done in years past where they'll have all three commentators get in the damn Rumble. Oh, Christ. No, I just don't think it makes for as good of a match. So I prefer the 30-man Rumble. Samwise Kindle, is Andrew Luck more like Brett Favre in terms of high accumulation of TDs with a fairly high amount of INTs? If so, why do people compare him to Peyton Manning? I don't know if he's got that Favre element to him. I don't know about that. Well, I mean, it's not bullshit it too much. Just remember, Peyton Manning as a rookie, what did he have, 28 interceptions? So people talk about like he's always been the greatest thing since sliced bread, and no, he hasn't. It really wasn't until 2002, I think, where he fully started to become what Peyton Manning would become. Because even in 2001, I don't think he was all that particularly good. And some of you will argue his early numbers indicate that I'm wrong. Well, no, I'm not. Peyton Manning really became Peyton Manning, in my opinion, starting in 2002. You know, what I don't like is where I saw some articles trying to crown Andrew Luck's ass as the best quarterback in the league today. I would still rather have Aaron Rodgers. I don't think Luck is quite up to Peyton Manning's capabilities. You know, there's always going to be Luck-Manning comparisons, in part because Luck took over for Peyton Manning in Indianapolis. Luck being in the 2012 draft is why Irsay wanted to move on from the Peyton Manning era. So they're inevitably always going to be compared no matter what. It's just like Rodgers will always be compared to Favre and so on and so forth. Josh Allen, Dixie Carter calls you and asks you to replace Mike Tenay on commentary. Would you take the job? Would I have any assurances that my paycheck would actually get there when it's supposed to? Would I have power over what I actually said? Be much more interested in a creative job than it would be a commentator job. But, you know, if they called, I'd at least listen, I guess. Let's see here. Aaron Gregorich. Yeah, we're going a little extended here today. There's enough questions. I fucking am in the mood, so what the fuck, why not? Aaron Gregorich, should the WWE reduce Raw from 3 hours back to 2? Well, obviously, yes. But they are getting extra money from the network to carry 3 hours of primetime programming on Monday night. So the extra money that they're getting means that they're going to stay with 3 hours. I don't like it. I think it's stupid. I think it tasks too many people in that company with too much responsibility. But that's the way it is. You just got to deal with it. Patrick Small. Which one will happen first? Cubs winning a World Series or WWE having a black world champion? I'll go with Cubs winning a World Series. It's that bad, WWE. Fix your shit. Guy Gorlink, if you could create a character in wrestling, what would it be? What will be its gimmick, and how will it stand out among other wrestlers? I've always had that idea of being like having like an actual socialist character that wore like Barack Obama shirts and read from Dos Capital and so on and so forth. And I guess I would cross over more into Marxist philosophies. Then I would also make it a point to really get heat on myself, but by pointing out some obvious truths, such as one of the greatest Marxists of all time was a man that people love to worship named Jesus. Oh, could you imagine? Talking about the industrial military complex, and it could be it would transform more. So I would maybe do a conspiracy theorist type of character that everything's a conspiracy and there's always more to the story. And a lot of times that's true. I would tell people the truth. That's the best way to get heat because people don't like to hear the truth, even though they say they like to hear the truth. They clearly don't. So that would be an idea right there. I mean, there are other character ideas I'd have, but I'm not going to reveal them now. I'll do that in a video in good time. Ben Scott, would you like to see Kurt Angle have one last run in WWE? No, I have no interest. I really don't. Joshua Pleasant, do you consider Edge and Batista to be Hall of Famers? Yes. Yes. Zach Jordan, thoughts on the Bound for Glory card? Next question. Too Loyal Des, do you ever think the WWE will get a 5.0 rating or better like in the Attitude Era ever again? No. Hell no. I'd be surprised if they get a 4.0 ever again. Brian Belaski, what are your feelings on former WWE wrestler Droz becoming quadriplegic, and how do you think it could have prevented, and what does this event mean for the future of the business? In terms of the business, I mean, I think it started to make people maybe in that company a little more cautious in terms of who's doing what, in terms of what's going on with the old Neckel region. It definitely was a drag on D'Lo Brown's career in the WWE. When shit like that happens, that's part of the deal potentially when you get involved with that. So it is what it is. Andy Nielsen, what would your reaction be if Sin Cara did a Hurricane Run off the top rope on Psycho Sid, with Sin Cara busting his leg on contact and Sid breaking his leg on the landing? Piss, shit, and tears, all due to uncontrollable violent laughing. Peter Gunn, who would you rather be stuck in an elevator with for one day, Jay Cutler or Jeff Jarrett? No. Just no. That's enough. Fuck you. Thanks, you guys, for submitting your questions. God damn, I need a haircut. I need to do something about this, like, now.